This week has been a really good week regarding my mileage. I ran about 5 times this week for about 30 miles, and even involving my training sessions, I felt very, very limber and very strong in my lifts. I didn't get. I backed off on my on my lifts and really focused on my mind muscle connection regarding all my lifts this week. My goal still is to increase my strength, but also be at a point where it doesn't affect my running. The the weightlifting is still the primary goal, but I also would like to incorporate my running as much as possible. When I first started lifting, I would say lifting to running ratio was about 90% to 10. So 90% I would focus on weightlifting with cardio, taking a merely 10% of my training effort. Nowadays I would consider almost 50-50, if not maybe 60 to training and 40% to cardio. Cardio had never been a strong suit of mine, and I took it upon myself to really improve in my cardio because at a very young age, I'd always feel very exhausted after just daily tasks, and I I never wanted to feel that way in my mind. So now I'm at a point where I do feel that the cardio has improved my performance in the gym. The one subject I wanted to talk about this week is inspiration. Inspiration takes on many forms and comes from many places. The first experience I had in inspiration came in high school. I participated in tennis in high school, and it was really my first experience in a team environment. I was a first year in high school, and I vividly remember that my cousin at the time, he was 2 years older than me, a third year. He was the one that told me to try out for the tennis team, and of course I obliged, and my inspiration was to try out for the team and try to get to the varsity team because my cousin was at the time on that team. So my inspiration was to be on the same team as him. So I worked really hard to try to get to that point, and sadly, I was never able to. I was never able to be on the same team before he graduated, and those 2 years that I spent in junior varsity, really shaped and motivated me to become a varsity tennis player. Just because I looked up to the players who made it to the varsity team, and I was inspired to become one of those people. I made it my goal to work as hard as I possibly can to to become the tennis player that I wanted to become. I started taking coaching lessons with my friend. I would watch hours and hours upon video on professional tennis players to really learn from people who have achieved great things. And I took it upon myself to really hone in on this skill. Eventually, my source of inspiration, instead of coming from others, it actually came from myself. The inspiration to become a better tennis player, to become a quicker, more agile player, was all for improving the well-being of myself. I think to start, inspiration will always come from other people, because you tend to look up to people who you want to embody. And once you hone in on this skill or whatever it may be, you start looking for inspiration into yourself. And my inspiration is to be a stronger, more nimble, more flexible, better version of myself. And that's what keeps me going every single day, is to be a better version of myself, whether it be physically or mentally. I'm a student at life, and I'm willing to learn if people are willing to teach. And I will always take in any and all advice, because I know it's coming from a good place. That's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.